Hey guys, welcome back to the Lazy River. This is Herb. Tonight I just want to talk about this tank right here. This is a 10-gallon tank on my racking system, and it's a very interesting tank. This tank is a catch-all tank. When I say catch-all tank, it catches everything. This is what houses my copepods that you've seen in other videos. It also has a couple of guppies. It has a couple different species of plants, as you see. Now, the species of plants and the way that they're placed in here is very interesting. I want to start off on this left-hand side, and we're looking at some lava rocks with some Java moss. Now, this Java moss was just, by some means, it happened to catch to these rocks, and it just took over. So, that's very interesting. So, I've just left it there. I haven't touched anything. And that's another thing about this tank. I really don't touch anything. Once it just gets placed in there, that's it. That's why you see on the right hand side there'll be a tube. There's some jungle val growing up. There is a little bit of Rotala indica in the very front, as well as in the mid-ground. In the background we have 2 or 3 Pogostemon Stellatus octopus plants, double sponge filters in the back, and that's just because they were tossed there. The heater's in there, but it's not in service right now. This is a cold water tank, and it's doing really well, to be honest with you. Let's see. We have on the very top, there is some miscellaneous dwarf water lettuce, a couple of frog bits. There's some Riccia floating in there. I believe there may even be some, yep, I've got it right there, Azolla fern. And the cool thing about this tank, and I say this in a lot of videos, is that I love dirting and sand capping. I think that that's like the ultimate way, for myself at least, to do a planted tank. Another cool thing to mention in here, we have some ram's horn snails that have appeared in here. Don't know where they came from. I'm thinking maybe from LRB Aquatics, because I noticed after I'd gotten some plants from him, they started showing up wherever those plants were. Look to the right here on this rock, there's a little bit more Java moss just attached to it. There is a little bit of an Acrocellodia right there on the right-hand side next to the jungle val, as well as in the back between the sponge filters. Now, I think if you guys wanted to have just like a catch-all tank, it is a good idea. And it's kind of a fun thing because you just kind of set it and forget it. You just don't really do much. On this tank, I really don't do a whole lot. There's not very much algae in here, despite, there being some on this tube, and just a little bit on top of the rocks. But the plants are doing all right. We've got a light above it, which is shining down on both of these tanks here on tanks 7 and 8. This one on the left-hand side is what I use to house most of my jungle val, and as you can see, it's kind of barren at the moment. We got some minnows in there doing their thing. We do have another shipment of some jungle val coming in, and there's a little bit of Bacopa in the background too. 2 stems there, and I think they're, yep, right here there is 2 more stems of Bacopa, and I do have some right here in the Rotala indica grow out. I just love to spread things out, and I keep saying that all the time. I believe that if you spread your plants out all over the place, the chances of them perishing is less likely because, what happens in this tank, that tank is all different. So let's say you have, your 3 of the same plant. Let's say, like, for example, the Bacopa, you stand chances of losing less plants if you have them spread out. But yeah, this is just a quick short little video. I was mainly getting off on a tangent here, but mainly I wanted to talk about the catch-all tank. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Till next time, stay lazy and adios.